As things advance further in a class trial, the Hangman's Gambit will eventually take place. The point of this is to reveal an important phrase related to the incident in question. You'll have to deduce the phrase from the letters flying around and the letters already known. Letters? Complete the phrase by shooting down the flying letters in the right order. Use the left stick to aim, press the X button. Okay. Yeah, I know, I can tap the screen. You know, I'll just go and tap my TV. That'll work. If you shoot down the wrong letters, you suffer damage to your influence gauge. If this gauge reaches 0 or you run out of time, you fail. Well then, good luck. Something that should have been at the scene but wasn't. Maybe hair or... what else? Like... hair's the only thing I could think about, unless maybe it was like, you know, the stuff that they attempted to burn. Huh. You can just figure out what that something is. I don't even know. Okay, there's 4 letters. So I have to start with the... oh. H. Okay, where's my A? Oh, we can get them out of order? Oh, you have to hit them until they... okay, I gotcha. It's an interesting minigame, I guess.
Now I understand.
I don't know how I feel about it, but it's okay. I think it requires...
right. There wasn't a single hair on the floor.
You kind of have to, ahead of time, know what it is. Otherwise, I think you kind of have trouble with that one. I guess you could figure it out while you're there, but the chance of you figuring it out if you have absolutely no idea might be a little harder.
So, the culprit removed some evidence?
Well, yes, obviously.
And if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room? It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there.
Really? I would think it'd be more to remove whoever the killer's hair was.
That makes sense, does it not?
No. If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, very true.
You have no idea what you're talking
true.
about, Hifumi. Go draw a fanfic or something. Or write one, I mean.
Hair on the ground.
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
Then that means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Then, Makoto isn't the culprit?
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
No. There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom, right?
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto?
You're certainly being nice about this whole thing, Kyoko. Maybe it's just because she already found all the evidence and she was already convinced that I wasn't the murderer. The killer struggled getting into the bathroom. The evidence... oh crap, I'm on a timer. Bathroom doorknob.
I got it! Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
The doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh yeah, true. But what does it mean?
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion.
Does it prove? But, you know, I'll go with it. I guess I could technically have done it too, right? I mean, if I just wanted to.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room? But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
Yeah, I don't know if this necessarily proves me as being innocent. It's definitely good evidence that if I had like a better, something else to go with it would make me airtight, but I don't think it necessarily proves that I didn't do it.
You still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
Like, I don't really have a good alibi that's keeping that from happening for me. Kyoko said it was a bewildering act. I almost didn't notice it at first, but is that the key point here? Oh, yes, please. Sure, let's go for it. Give me just 1 second, actually. I want to do something with the music. I think the music's just a little bit too loud in some spots. I don't want it too quiet. I don't know. We'll leave it like that for now. Maybe if I get more annoyed later, I'll change it. I just want to be able to hear the voices, that's all. From here on out, the number of weak spots will start going up. No matter how many weak spots, there's essentially only one lie or contradiction in that debate. What I'm trying to say is not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. I think that's the important thing to remember here. Use a truth bullet on the wrong one, and not only will you fail to refute what they say, but you'll also lower your trust with everyone, and your influence gauge will take damage. Now this is important because if your influence gauge is 0, you fail. You have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies or contradictions. Well then, good luck and have fun. So basically be careful now, because it's not going to be easy. As easy, let's say that. The bathroom door frame, that's my truth bullet apparently.
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room.
That sounds about right.
She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door, because Sayaka had locked it.
And we can refute that, because there's no lock on her door.
The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with walking bathrooms, right?
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Yeah, we all totally forgot about that.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup, true as true can be. But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door.
I don't know, it's a bit of evidence. I would still call that pretty lucky, right?
That's not lucky at all.
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
Well, I mean, if you can't get in, that feels like a lock in it. That's a lock in itself, right?
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
I don't think this would have occurred to the killer, but this is, I guess, something that kind of usually one of our evidences. I would still think even, if something like this happened, you would still assume they somehow locked the door in some method or fashion. One important detail, something the killer didn't know. For some reason they were convinced the door is locked. Which means the important detail the killer didn't know was...
I got it! The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
Which he's stupid, because you think you would figure that out, but I guess maybe third day, you might not have that quite down yet.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable.
I feel like Toko and Hifumi are just like completely the most useless people in this trial. Just lock them out and continue the trial without them.
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms. Which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
Then there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through.
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
Yeah, true.
ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. But the killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door open.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
Definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
It's still stronger evidence, but it's not conclusive.
That is a definite possibility.
Yeah, I'm right here with the guy's name that must not be spoken because I can't say it. By Akuya.
So the killer would have
By
to be someone
Akuya.
who didn't know
Yeah.
they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up. Quit without saving.
But what happens
Everyone
if we
just
can't
ignores
decide on who we
his
think did
stupid
it?
nerdy comment.
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules.
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
No, that sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you...
You don't gotta sound
wow.
so disappointed.
Man, these people, you're gonna start throwing crystal balls at each other.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Yeah, that is kind of questionable. Like, how did that happen?
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
I
No.
don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then... maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Did he? Maybe I missed that. Okay.
Fine.
That's good to know.
How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Miss Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place. Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
The reason there's no way Sayaka invited her killer into that room, I already have the answer. I mean, she did say we wouldn't have let it. Like, we did kind of say that, right? Is it switching rooms? And she was frightened, so she wouldn't have done that, right? I think. I hope this is right.
Because Sayaka was already
Yeah,
scared,
there we go.
remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
So it's unlikely she would have done that voluntarily. I won't open the door for nobody, even if it's you.
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
what if her being scared was a lie?
Oh.
Huh?
I guess that's not really something we can refute.
What the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
Maybe because she wanted to murder
I
you.
know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me.
Look how angry he
Can you
is.
still
Look at him.
deny
He's
the
like, something I want to talk to you about, just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appear.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's like the ultimate detective or something.
When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I'd better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
Yeah!
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes.
It's this music track right here that's really loud. I need to turn it down just a little bit for that.
Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Oh.
Huh?
So that's not good.
Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
I don't think I did.
No, I didn't. But...
Of course you didn't. Because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
I always thought Sayaka was a little fishy. Then that note. Sayaka wrote it?
But why? Why would she write that?
Because she's evil!
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
Of course.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say?
Oh, bring it on. I'd love to hear
Very
it.
well then. Pay attention.
Dorm nameplates.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct?
That's right.
But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in.
Wait, no, is that right? I don't know.
So in other words, even if someone did read the note and did what it said, they would not have any connection to what happened.
It certainly would seem that way.
I think I missed something there. The reason the killer went to my room and not Sayaka's, despite what the note said, it's because the nameplates got switched.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct?
That's correct.
But in the note, the place specifically says, I see. So if someone they would have gone to Sayaka.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in.
Is that it? Maybe? I hope.
No, it's wrong.
It's wrong! I hope I'm right. I don't know, actually. Let's find out.
The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
There. Okay, I did
right.
it. Yeah, I did
The
it.
nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
I didn't even know you could switch them.
Okay, then who did it?
There's only one person who could have switched the nameplates. Do we know? Well, no, the killer got confused by it. Like, we know we didn't do it. And the killer got confused by it, so I doubt the killer switched them, so Sayaka herself must have done it.
Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her note.
Come see me in my room. Make sure you don't get the wrong room. Check the nameplates. Because she switched them and Okay, I gotcha. That part makes more sense to me, because I could see, if someone's only, taking a cursory glance around, and they'd be like, oh, I thought Sayaka's room was there, but check the nameplates. Oh, I must have been incorrect. It was right there.
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
Which means Sayaka did it.
Why would she switch
Oh, I
them
like
in the
that
first
logic.
place?
That's really good.
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
Wow, I didn't even think about that.
To
Why?
understand
Yeah.
that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room.
I'm assuming she invited them for some reason.
That's where the answer lies.
Yeah.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her.
Probably.
We figured it out! We know who did it! Whoever she invited over is the culprit!
Thank you, Captain
But
Obvious.
we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot!
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Almost certainly.
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
But we did see the gold marks. I guess that would make sense. I thought it was maybe because of the hand, like maybe grabbing a wrist. Oh, that's not it. Actually, we need Sayaka's wrist. There we go.
I got it! All you have to do is take a good look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear. Right there where her wrist is all swollen. There's something glittery there. See?
Is that gold?
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword! Right there on her wrist!
Good job.
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
You haven't contributed to this in any meaningful way at all.
Alright, then it's about time to solve this mystery.
What happened in my room? And what led to Sayaka's death? That's what we need to make clear. There's a bit more to learn. Yes, let's go. Just tell it all to me. Are you getting used to these? They're okay. Starting with the next debate, I'll start loading multiple truth bullets. It's fun. But just like with the weak spots, only one of those bullets can actually refute the proper statement. In other words, from here on out, you'll have to combine the right truth bullets with the right weak spots to refute each statement. If you come up with the wrong combination, you'll take damage. Yep. Press the L button to rotate the cylinder. Yep, I see the trigger happy havoc part coming in now. To rotate the cylinder, press and release the L button to cycle through each bullet. Or you can hold down the L button and then use the left stick. And because we're not unkind, we're going to have many more bullets, apparently. For our purposes this time, the logic difficulty will be set to mean. Alright. Ugh, fun. So we'll have to figure out which one is the right one for what we need, basically.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
And that's what broke Miss Mizono's wrist.
Can we really... Yeah, I don't know if we can say that.
She tried to fight back. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden away.
But then the culprit took that from her too.
And they killed her with it.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I must have missed it. The sword is used first and then the knife came afterwards. Is that really the order of events?
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, that wasn't it. I have absolutely no idea.
Shoot!
Ow.
When the fighting broke out,
The culprit grabbed him. That's when the first sword-based
sneak attack.
And that's what broke Miss Mizono's wrist.
So she tried to fight back. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden away.
But then the culprit took that from her too.
And they killed her with it.
Well, that's exactly what happened.
I don't know quite what. Well, I
When
guess
the fighting broke out,
it would be the replica sword sheath,
grabbed the
right?
sword. And that's when the first blow was dealt. The sword-based sneak attack.
I think so, right? There we go. Okay, that was my problem. Because it didn't cut her, it, like, bruised her and broke her wrist.
Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword.
Why not?
Because the sword sheath had been scratched. See? There's a gash in it. Like someone cut into it with something sharp.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
What, like she tried to block the blow with a kitchen knife?
Stop jumping ahead.
I'm a bit confused.
Slow down and explain
Yeah, please
it so
slow
I get
down.
what the hell's going on.
If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath.
Would it? Okay.
If you were going to attack with the sword, you'd take it out of the sheath first, right?
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
If they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse. In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
Okay.
So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Okay, I gotcha.
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
I think I get it. So here's how it all played out.
And Saika's hands were clean. And there wasn't any water available in the bathroom, so they couldn't have cleaned off her hands. Which means that she wasn't the one that actually brandished the sword, as far as I can tell. She must have had the knife.
The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere. Then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening. So she grabbed the sword to defend herself, but then the culprit took that from her too. Then, after they broke her wrist with the sword, they took the knife and finished it.
Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself.
What? How the hell can you not think that?
Don't just stick your tongue out at me.
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
A certain part. Makoto, would you like to elaborate on this certain part?